Hey guys, it's Serene, and yeah, I'm actually out with another video. It's shocking, mind-blowing, and I didn't think it was going to happen anytime soon. But very recently, a certain someone, you know who you are, sorry, called me out and said that I hadn't made a video in a while. And I'm sorry. I've been really busy with school and band and life. And yeah, it's been a work in progress. You know, we love being overworked, but yeah, I'm gonna try and have some more videos every now and then, but just so you know, it's not gonna be consistent. I mean, for all I know, I might just stop posting until, I'm dead, and then that wouldn't work. I'm stupid. That's off topic. I've already wasted an entire minute that I can never get back now. So let's just go straight into the video. So, Hestia. She's actually one of the, nice Greek goddesses. Genuinely nice. Think of, the nicest, happiest, bubbliest person you know. You always look at them and you swear there's, a ray of sunshine just landing directly on them and there's birds flying around them Disney style. This is Hestia. Everyone loves her. Everyone knows her. And, she's kind of quiet. She's chill, but, no one has a problem with her. And she's always that nice, happy, bubbly. We all know someone like that. I know we do. It's just, they're always just there. And you're always I don't know how she's always smiling, but look at our queen over here. So, an interesting thing about Hestia, she was actually the firstborn. Her mother, Rhea, had her first, and then she was eaten by Kronos, which, if that's not how you deal with having your your wife have a child, then I don't know. You're clearly not going to be getting Dad of the Year award. So she was eaten first. She got that lovely joy. She didn't even have time to cry before he just gobbled her up. And then her siblings came after her until Zeus finally, fought Kronos and killed him, and they all came out. And because she was eaten first, she came out last. So she went from being the oldest sibling to considered the youngest sibling, which sucks. I would cry if I were suddenly considered the youngest sibling, because I know my youngest sister would totally hold that over my head. And I'd be like, I'm the oldest. And she'd be like, actually, you're not. And I'm the oldest. And she'd just be really annoying about it. And I know she's watching this. And listen here, punk. I'll beat you up if you try and say differently. I'll end your life. Okay. Anyway. So, yeah, I think that's really unfortunate. But in a way, it kind of helps because all of the gods kind of feel a need to protect her, and because they view her as their youngest sister, and she's the baby of the family, and she's so nice and so loving, and they'll do anything for her. She actually did come to a point where two of them wanted to marry her. Don't think too hard into that. They're gods. It's different. It's different. It's different, okay? And both Apollo and Poseidon came up to her and were like, oh, we love you so much. You're so sweet. Oh my gosh. Will you please marry me? And they kind of wanted to have this competition to see who was worthy of marrying her. And they brought it up to Zeus. Not to Hestia. They brought it up to Zeus and said, which one of us can marry her? And Zeus was like, Hestia, which one do you want to marry? And she looked over at Zeus and she's like, oh, please, no, please, I don't want to get married. And she was kind of looking at her brothers being idiots and just overall stupid. And they're like, what? And she's like, I don't want to get married. I've seen all of my siblings get married, and all of them are unhappy. And they're all cheating on each other. So I really don't want that. And Zeus is like, are you sure you don't want to have, kids or a husband? She's like, nope, that is not the life for me. I just want to, tend the fire, the hearth, and like the families, and just keep in control of that. And you guys can do your thing and get married and whatever. And so, they all loved Hestia, so Zeus didn't force her into a marriage. If he did, he would have had a riot on his hands by everyone else, except for the guy that he said she had to get married to. So he didn't force that on her. And Apollo and Poseidon were, for once in their miserable lives, like, actually chill with not having a girl want to be married to them. And they're like, oh, Hestia, we love you. You're so sweet. We'll protect you. If you don't want to get married, you will not get married. We'll make sure of it. And surprisingly, that didn't come to bite her in the butt. Usually stuff like that does. But it's Hestia, and everyone loves her, and her life is full of sunshine and happiness. Now, there did actually come to a point where they had a party. One of the big Olympian parties. Everyone was involved, even your mom. And if you didn't go, it was like you were the really lame kid, and no one wanted to hang out with you. But even those kids got invited. So it's like everyone was there. And Hestia, had a bit of some of that Olympian nectar, as you could call it. And, she got really tired and silly. And she decided to take a nap. And she saw this donkey. And she's like, yo, donkey, keep an eye out. I'm gonna sleep here. Thanks. And this really lame god comes up, one of the weird ones. He's the goddess, or the god, not even goddess, he's the god of vegetables. So cool. No one likes him because he's boring. And he's like, oh, a pretty goddess. And he can really see who it was because it was dark. He's like, I'm just gonna, cuddle up next to her in the morning. She's gonna be like, ooh, I want to hang out with you. His name was like Priapus, which already sounds like a stupid name. Like, what kind of idiot names their child Priapus? That's just asking for him to get bullied or turn out weird later in life. Like, I don't know any Priapuses personally, and I hope I never do. If your name is Priapus, post up. I'm gonna fight you. Just kidding. I hope there's no one out there actually named Priapus, though. So he kind of laid down next to her, and the donkey saw this and was like, whoa, this is what she told me to look out for. And so the donkey, rip headphone users, by the way, I'm sorry. The donkey decides to just scream, and just all you hear is this, yeah! From the donkey. And all the goddesses come running. It, of course, wakes Hestia up, and she sees this creep laying next to her, and she's like, help me, help me! And then they hear Hestia screaming. And they're like, uh-oh, it's our baby girl, our chosen ray of sunshine. We have to go, like, now. And so they all run, and they see Priapus there, and he's like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know it was her. And Hestia's like, oh, it's okay, I don't think he knew it was me. And, no one hurt Priapus because Hestia was one of those sweet people. And she's like, don't blame him. But he was never invited to any of their parties ever again. And I bet you've never even heard of the Greek god Priapus. You want to know why? Because he was a loser and they shunned him because he tried to cuddle with Hestia. Do not mess with Hestia because you will get shunned. And especially if you're the god of vegetables. Like, what a loser. I just looked out in my backyard and there's a squirrel staring at me. And now all I can think of is that dog from Up that's like, squirrel! Oh, he's running. Oh, I feel threatened. Oh, yeah. Okay, so that's what happened there. Oh my gosh, I'm going to kill myself. So, I went talking for, a full, 10 minutes, just rambling about Hestia. And I looked down, and my phone had turned off. And you lost that. All of that. Every single bit. And honestly, it was a bit of a train wreck, so it's probably for the best. That was probably God intervening. It was probably Hestia herself saying, no, I don't want this in my video. So now I get the joy of redoing it all. Yay! Oh my gosh, I'm an idiot. I'm a straight up Class C professional moron. Okay, so the next, kind of big myth that involved Hestia, the only other one, really, the only big one, is that, whenever she She was on the big Olympian 12, the super secret club that thought they were cooler than everyone, which they kind of were, not gonna lie. But yeah, they were in charge of everything, like Zeus was obviously first in command, and then it was all his siblings after that, and like Aphrodite and stuff. But Hestia was on that too. Well, Zeus had a son, and when I say he had a son, I mean like Hera got mad and blasted his wife, or his, like, mortal wife, and he took the baby and, like, put it in his hip and had the baby himself. So he had a son, and his son grew up and invented wine. And Zeus thought that was the best thing since ever, because sliced bread hadn't been invented yet, so I can't use that phrase, but since ever. And he's like, my son invented this cool thing that, like, makes you act stupid and makes you slow. And I think that he deserves godhood for it. And not only godhood, but I think that he should be allowed to be in our cool super secret 12 group. Because he's better than every other minor god. I don't want him to be a minor god. He invented wine, for crying out loud. So they couldn't really do anything because there were already 12. And 13 is an unlucky number and no one likes it because bad things happen when the number 13 is involved. So they couldn't just add him. And two, it would also offset the balance they already had of 12. And they just didn't want to do that. So what they ended up doing is Hestia was like, yo, I don't really care about power or, being in a super secret club. So, like, I can just be the goddess of the hearth. And I'm okay with that. He can have my place. And he took her place, and there was no drama or anything involved. Because Hestia is a sweetheart, and we love her. You better love her, or else I will come into your house at midnight and beat you up. Just kidding. For legal reasons, that was a joke. Please don't sue me. Anyway, so, yeah, that's kind of the only other myth involved with her. She didn't have any scandals. She wasn't a scandalous jerk, is the nicest way I could put it. And even Aphrodite, like, backed off with her. She never tried to make her, like, fall in love with someone, because that would have backfired bad for Aphrodite. And, she likes looking like the cool, like, oh, I don't ever do anything wrong. I'm so lovely. Lovely. And so, yeah, Hestia didn't really have anything, like, bad happen to her, which I think is the best. Like, if you're in a Greek myth, you want to be Hestia. You don't want to be Hercules. I don't know. But you really don't want to be Hercules. If you look at what happened, it's not like the Disney movie told you. It was bad. And it was bad. So, yeah. And one other thing about, like, the hearth, because I know I've said that. If you don't know what a hearth is, basically it's like a fireplace that was in your living room. It was very, very important to the Greek culture. And every town had a, like, community hearth. If you wanted to get into that town safely and not have anyone, like, beat you up, like in a, like, gang or something, then you had to go to the hearth and claim, like, some kind of stupid thing. I don't remember what it was called. But then the town was, like, obligated to protect you and make sure you didn't get, beat up. And that sounded really lame. I'm sorry. It sounded really cool the first time I said it, but unfortunately I was stupid and let my phone turn off, so it sounds lame now. So, but yeah, she was in charge of that. But not only was it, like, where everyone hung out and, like, what kept people warm, but it's also where they cooked their food, which to me personally is very important because, I like eating because it's essential to keeping me alive. And not only did it do that, but it also, like, was where the Greek gods would, like, you would sacrifice to them. But because she was the goddess of the hearth, if you sacrificed to, say, Zeus, like, hey, don't, like, burn down my house, please, have some meat, she would also get a part of that sacrifice, like a tax, if you will. Hestia is the goddess of taxes confirmed? Just kidding. That'd be really ironic, though, considering that everyone hates taxes. and thinks they're the worst, and she's like the nicest, most loved goddess ever. I don't know, just something to think about. So, yeah. To wrap this up, Hestia is the most important, and you should love her. The end. About the artwork really quick, this is actually the last Greek goddess that I've drawn, like, that I am redoing. So if you see any other Greek goddesses, spoiler alert, they're from my own brain, like, recently. It's not something from 5 months ago. That was the sound. That was the sound of your mind blowing. Wow. Anyway, so yeah, I didn't really care for this one as much because I was shooting for realism, and it looked like a badly endered wannabe anime because of how big her eyes were. So I tried to fix that and do my girl some justice this time. So I hope you liked it, and I hope you liked the video. Thanks for watching. See ya!